Sup,
Buzznet?
In reference to the podcast, kind of here again.
Back at ya.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we are here, but we're just not together.
Together, but very far apart.
We are here for a Freaky Friday. It's all about Heather today.
As it should be.
Okay, rude. Alright, what you got?
Okay, today we're going to learn about Chillingham Castle.
Word. That's not a castle made of ham in a refrigerator?
No.
Darn. Also, wait, just a quick side note. Well, I got some house cleaning to do. Housekeeping, whatever. One, my dog has kennel cough, and I cannot control if he coughs. I will edit it out to the best of my ability, but I'm sorry if he starts coughing. He's currently destroying a toy, so maybe that'll keep him occupied. And two, we are going to, in the new year, start posting on different days, sort of. We're still going to post on Freaky Friday, but we're going to move to True Crime Tuesday to give me more time to procrastinate editing my episodes. So check it for that. What? I don't know. Okay, so those were my housekeeping.
Got all your cobwebs cleaned out?
I think so. Wow. Yeah. I was gonna make an inappropriate comment. Hey, how about you lay down? No? Okay.
Concur, I'm perfectly fine sitting, thank you.
I wasn't talking to you. We all know that. Oh my god.
Brody apparently didn't.
He just hopped, legit hopped from the carpet to his bed. Like, all four
Bunny
legs.
Brody today.
Yeah, all four legs came up off the ground at one time. Hi. That's enough. Okay. Letting Heather record. Maybe I'll end up muting myself while you're recording. Until I have to talk.
Until you start talking and forget to unmute it.
Yeah, probs. But like that time that we tried to record Aaron Hernandez's episode, and it was like, I thought I pressed record and didn't. Okay.
You did, but it was like halfway through. You're like, you gotta redo all of that.
Yeah, you were like, how come the screen's not moving? I was like, oh, you motherfucker. Not you.
I'm observant. Sometimes.
Yeah. You're observant when dogs are 7,000 feet in front of you.
Yes.
And 20 minutes into the podcast not recording.
Yes. Exactly.
Alright, so tell me about this ham-shaped castle.
Hey, it could be, because I don't have any descriptions for it.
Oh, see?
So I guess you're not going to find out next time, because I don't even remember what this is about.
It's probably not even about a castle, it's just called that.
Well, the second one it says... Oh, I definitely read that really weird at first. I thought it said King Edward and I stayed at the castle, and I was like, that's really odd. Because I wasn't alive in 1298.
You would. I mean, like, that's all I can say is you would.
Alright.
Okay, go.
In the late 12th century, the castle was originally a monastery. In 1298, King Edward I, not an I, stayed at the castle on his way to Scotland to battle a Scottish army. Oh, also, in my head, I thought this was in Canada. It's not.
Why would you think it was in Canada?
I don't, because I did one that was in Canada, and I thought it was this one.
No, that one was, like, multiple episodes ago.
I'm pretty sure that was, like, back in the beginning.
Yeah, it was Casaloma.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what that is. And you're like, you've been there twice.
That's right.
I was like, oh, I knew that.
And you're like, oh yeah, that one.
Anyway.
Okay.
So
during medieval
we're not in Canada.
No. were at a castle on his way to Scotland.
On his way to Scotland?
It says he stayed at the castle on his way to Scotland to battle a Scottish army.
Oh, okay, because then I was just picturing this big stone thing floating in the ocean.
If it was stone, it wouldn't float.
Well, I know, that's why I was confused, because I was like, wait, how is his castle float? Jesus.
Because he's a wizard. He's a wizard.
Speaking of wizards, man, why did Wizards of Waverly Place ever end? Although, on the same note, why is it an acid trip between every scene switch?
Because they want you to feel like you're at the Mesoamerica again.
Yeah, they knew in 2019 I would go see that, so when it
They're
was...
wizards.
I guess. Also thought it ran way longer than 4 seasons.
That was it?
That's all that are on Disney Plus.
Huh.
And I still don't know how it ends because I haven't finished it and I never watched the season or series finale. So don't spoil it because I know you know, or you used to know.
Did you ever watch the movie?
No.
Okay, then I won't ruin it for you.
Okay, thanks.
I don't even remember how it ends, to be totally honest.
All I know is, you can tell it was not made in 2018 with the magic of Marvel Studios because
Yeah.
the CGI is not the best. But anyway, okay, continue on about King Edward and you going to this castle made of ham.
Okay. During medieval times, the castle was in a strategically important location. English armies used it to prepare for battle, and it was also repeatedly attacked by Scottish armies. It had a moat, and in some spots the walls were 12 foot thick.
Oh, she thick.
He's thick.
Oh.
Or she. I don't know. I don't know what they called castles. Because, like, boats are usually female.
Okay. Well, I hear thickness is what matters anyways, so...
They're thick. They're thick.
Yeah, there you go. Let's be gender
They're
inclusive.
Thick. We all thick.
we girl, I am thick, but, like, not in the cute way. Speaking of, I got hit on by 2 people on my way to the bus stop today. It was more like the St. Louis endeavor.
Ooh.
Yeah. And one guy was like, Merry Christmas, and I just smiled, and he's like, oh, look at that pretty smile, girl. I was like...
You're like, oh god, kill me now.
Yeah, and then he kept talking as I kept walking. And then some other guy rode by on his bike. They were both on bikes. Not like motorcycle bikes.
Pedal bikes.
Yeah. And he was like, girl. And I was like,
no thanks.
Nope. Also got hit on, I think, because I'm so bad at this, by one of my new neighbors. Because his dog was outside and barking at my dog. And, like, he apologized and was like, it's fine. And so I kept walking Brody. And then on the way back, I saw him. And he was like, oh, your dog's so cute. And I was like, thanks. And he's like, my dog's just an asshole. And I was like, I doubt that. And he goes, well, I hear dogs take after their owners.
So he called himself an asshole?
Well, that, but then, like, he also called my dog cute. So I was like...
Aww.
Yeah, so, like, afterwards, I was, like, sitting here, and I'm like, wait.
You're like, was he flirting with me? And it just went...
Yeah. I'm like, no, you gotta be obvious with
like,
your
flirting.
Gotta like, smack hey, me in I'm the face. Flirting with you.
It's like, you gotta smack me in the face with it.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. But then again, it was, like, pitch black out, so, like...
You're like, he doesn't know.
know I'm cute. And it's wintertime, so I was...
Bundled?
No, I was definitely just wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants, but... The other night I went out in my shorts and my sweatshirt, and I was like, definitely not fall weather.
No, it was only 18 degrees here today.
It was 14 when I woke up this morning. It was like, it feels like 3 degrees outside. I was like, oh, that's nothing. And then I walked outside. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's something.
You're like, oh, that definitely feels like 3.
I think it felt a little colder than 3. Because I had shorts on and a sweatshirt.
Man,
I need to learn what to wear to take my dog outside.
He's like jamming out there.
Who, your dad?
Yeah.
The only male that lives in your house.
Oh, we got a roommate, didn't I tell you?
Oh, is he a serial killer? Can I interview him?
He's watching. Well, I mean, he's pretty much watching. He's watching John Wick.
Oh, I've never seen any of those.
Neither have I. And I think he has it, because as I said, I was coming back. I was like, I'm going back to call Amanda. So I think that's why he has the volume on, so he doesn't have to listen to me.
Fair. I would too, but...
You're like, but I can't mute you because I'll forget to unmute it.
Oh, that and I have to pay attention. Because I don't normally, so... Okay, so she's thick, 12-inch walls? Foot walls? 12-foot walls?
12 foot thick.
Damn, that is thick.
Uh-oh, I just made myself go away.
Yes. I mean, what?
Alright. Okay, so the walls are 12 foot thick in some spots.
Oh, only some spots.
Yeah, only... the whole thing didn't need to be 12 foot thick.
Okay.
In 1344, the castle underwent renovations, and King Edward II... Oh. I'm wondering... I don't know if it's the first... Yeah, I have no idea. It's been since June, so who knows?
So one of them, Edwards.
King Edward gave permission for them to fortify the property, making it a fully fortified castle. In 1617, James I, the first king of both England and Scotland, stayed at the castle during a journey between his kingdoms.
Damn, I can't even become queen of, like, my house, let alone 2 countries.
That's because you have King Brody.
I do. That's true. Okay.
You're just his chambermaid.
Basically.
As the relations between the 2 kingdoms became peaceful, they didn't need a military stronghold anymore. So, eventually the castle was transformed. The moat was filled, and different areas were made into residential wings, and a banquet hall and library were added.
What?
Well, they're like, we don't need this for war anymore, it's fine.
I guess. There's an airplane flying overhead.
Yeah. Maybe that guy's trying to flirt with you again.
What? Oh.
Well, you said it went over your head.
Oh, I get it. I got it.
Did that one smack? Did it come back around and hit you in the face?
Yeah, it was kind of a boomerang. It went overhead, but...
It gotcha.
It got me. Anyway, okay.
Alright, so we're making
people are randomly living in this castle now?
Yeah. Well, we also made a huge jump because we went from 1617 to World War II.
Oh, wow.
So, apparently it was peaceful for a very, very long time.
Okay.
Because during World War II, the castle was used as an army barracks. Oh. Most of the decorative wood was said to have been stripped out and burned by soldiers.
I love stripping
That's rude.
wood. What?
After the war, the castle fell into disrepair. The lead was removed from the roof, ending in extensive weather damage to a good bit of the building. In 1982...
Oh, so another jump.
Yeah. Almost to our time.
Almost.
In 1982, the castle was purchased and restoration began. Some sections are now open to the public, and apartments are available for vacations.
Okay. Although, if it's paranormal, I'm gonna pass.
I also didn't realize, because I'm used to seeing this on my phone, I was like, oh my god, I never actually finished this. I did. There was just a break to the next page.
Alright.
Oh, now we're going back.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna travel back a little bit.
Our first paranormal?
Yes, we're into the paranormal stuff now.
Okay. No more history.
I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, this is the history.
Okay. Must have used a different website. Well, speaking of, I don't think you said what your sources were.
I don't know what they would have been.
Okay, great.
The first couple pages of Google.
Alright, sounds good.
This is when I wasn't, like, very...
No, we got better at that.
Yeah, this is also from June.
Yeah, but that was when we were on a break.
I have all kinds of sources for my second one.
Okay, great. I hope my favorite guy is in there. That I
He's
realized...
not.
Oh. I realized today that... I mean, I've watched Ghost Adventures, but I think... Because I started to listen to... And that's why we drink again, because I ran out of all of my other podcasts that I caught up on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was listening to it, and they were talking about him, and I was like, I think I only hate him...
Because they do?
Because they do. Yeah, and I just want to be best
But
friends
have
with
you
them.
extensively watched the show? Because his voice does get a little annoying.
No, but the episode I was on, which I think I've listened to already, but I couldn't remember what I last listened to, and so I just randomly picked an episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's before Christine got married, so I think...
So it's been a while.
Well, yeah, because I think it's been a while. I think I stopped listening to them when we started our podcast. And not because of any other reason, but that I was sick of podcasts from being on the road all the time and listening to them nonstop.
I'm current on theirs.
Well, I'm current now on Tiny Meat Gang, which means I listened to all 104 episodes over, like, less than a month. I caught up on My Favorite Murder. I listened to every episode of The Murder Squad. And
Do you listen to Crime Junkies?
no. But
The one girl I work with keeps asking me. She's like, "Did you listen to them yet?" And I was like, "I'm not." I was like, I like true crime. I was like, Amanda's the one that watches that.
No,
I was like,
but
listens to
I
it.
will add that to my list because it won't take me long to catch up on. And that's why we drink.
Because she's like, "Oh, Sugar, are you going to go to their show?" And I was like, "I don't know."
And when is it?
I have no idea.
I think I sent it to you. I know I sent it to you.
You did.
Anyway.
But she's like, "Are you going to go?" She's like, "Oh, we should go together." And I was like, "I don't want to go with you."
Oh, God, yeah, because like, it's all the way in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and she doesn't stop talking.
Ew. So anyway.
Yeah, okay, so there's a dark past to this castle.
I was going to finish telling my story about Zach Beck.
Sorry.
It's okay. Because you mentioned his voice, and in the episode I was listening to today, Em was talking about how they were watching a YouTube video where they sped up the audio. So they were like, so his voice sounded like a normal person's voice.
That's because he talks so slow.
I know, that's what Em was saying, and I was like, okay, so keep telling me about...
Okay, there's a dark past to this castle.
Oh, P.S. I would have never known that was supposed to be Zach.
I didn't either until I was listening to it, and because Em played like the intro, like saying like, "Oh, I'm Zach Beck."
Okay.
It's funny. All right, since 1246
PM or AM?
AD, actually.
Oh, okay.
Since the year 1246, the castle has been owned by the same bloodline. During the renovation, they added a dungeon and a torture chamber, or two. During the fighting with the...
Okay.
During the fighting with the Scots, prisoners were often interrogated in the deepest parts of the castle, and usually subjected to terrible torture. Men would have their arms and legs broken before being tossed through a trap door, falling 20 feet into the dungeon below. The Chillingham Castle's dungeons are a thing of legend. Many Scottish prisoners that were trapped in the dungeon became so starved that they had to resort to eating the dead.
Ooh.
Some became
Bueno.
Yeah, no bueno. Some became so desperate that they even ate their own flesh.
I would not survive torture.
They'd like even think of getting near me. Like, no, don't do it.
They'd be like, you have to eat your own flesh, and I'd be like, no.
Like, I'm
no,
just gonna starve.
I think that pain will be more enjoyable than
Well, they
dying.
say you can bite through your own finger at the same pressure as biting through a carrot.
I have bit through many a carrots, although cooked, because I don't like raw vegetables.
But you can't do it to your finger because you know it's your finger.
I mean, isn't that what they say about suffocating yourself?
You can't do it. You can't tickle yourself either.
I would like to disagree with that one 100%. I can tickle my own damn foot.
Oh yeah, I can't. My feet's like, don't touch me.
Yeah, like I run my finger over my foot and it's. Ugh,
You're like, I want
I
to punch myself in the face.
Oh, I hate feet so much. I hate touching my own feet. Feet are so gross. I propose a new amendment to the Constitution where everybody just has to lose their feet.
Just walk around on stoves.
Pretty much. Okay, anyway, back to eating your own flesh.
That's it for eating your own flesh. The dungeon walls are still covered with the markings from the prisoners, keeping track of how long they had been kept there. The torture chamber had narrow sloping floors so the blood could drain easily.
Great.
And it was run by a man named John Sage, who is basically evil.
Nuh-uh.
It has been said that thousands of Scots died in Sage's torture chamber. He was one of King Edward's... I scrolled and I lost my spots.
He was...
I'm like, well, then I said he, but I had Sage was, and I was like, oh god, I don't even have he written anywhere.
Okay, so Sage was...
Sage was one of King Edward's best men, and he was injured, so he could no longer fight in battle.
What number of best men do you think he was? Oh, I guess there's only one best man.
He was one of his best men.
So how many best men did he have? Holy hell, how many maids of honors did his wife have?
I don't know that he's married.
It was a joke.
Oh. Jeez. It didn't sound like a joke. I was concerned for a second.
Where's that airplane at?
It's not, it took a while for it to take a long trip around.
Okay, so he was one of his best men. Yes.
So he was injured so he could no longer fight in battle. He was then relocated to the castle and was the castle's official torturer.
Tragic.
He had... Huh?
Tragic. Unless he liked it.
He did. They probably didn't.
You don't know that. You don't know what they were into in whatever year we're in again.
Yeah. He had many devices at his disposal, such as iron maidens, racks, and cages where prisoners would be left to the rats. These are just a few of the devices at his disposal. It's thought that Sage tortured around 50 people a week for over 3 years.
Holy hell.
When the war was ending, Sage devised a plan to rid the castle of the remaining prisoners instead of just letting them go. They had... This next part is dark.
Oh, I like dark.
They had men, women, and children in the dungeons. The children were taken to the Edward room and were made to watch as their parents were herded into the courtyard. They then burned the whole group alive.
Okay, I don't like dark.
It gets darker.
Oh, jeez.
Sage then slaughtered the children with an axe that they still have on display today above a stairwell.
Oh my god.
Yes. Dark past indeed. Thankfully, karma caught up to Sage in the form of a tribal leader whose daughter had been killed. He killed a tribal leader's daughter. He was strung up and mutilated. The locals cut off his nose, testicles, and toes as souvenirs.
What?
They're like, oh, I got to see this. I'm going to take this toe with me.
I like how you're concerned about the toe.
Here's the nose.
Did you not say testicles?
I did. I knew that's which one you meant.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay.
Hey, he doesn't have the balls anymore.
I guess not.
He was then left to die from his injuries. The crowd watching and occasionally cutting a piece of him off to keep.
God, and you people think I'm sadistic.
Throughout the years of renovations at the castle, numerous bodies have been discovered in hidden rooms, crawl spaces, and behind brick walls. There were skeletons of a man and a child found in a small underground vault, and no one knows who or why they were hiding there in the first place. Seeing as how dark the past was, it's not surprising that the castle is haunted.
Nuh-uh.
The most famous ghost is called the Blue Boy, or the Radiant Boy.
Well, we know it's not the guy who got chopped up, because he doesn't have balls that could be blue.
I think it's a child.
I know, it was just...
Oh.
I was trying to make it known that I was listening.
I'm trying to not make it as dark. Guests have reported seeing blue flashes and a blue halo of light above their beds after hearing a loud wail. After they would see a figure of a small boy approaching the bed. It's claimed that the haunting ceased after a skeleton of a boy was found in a 10-foot thick wall. Not as thick as the 12-foot.
No, but that's still pretty thick.
But, just think of how much more space you would have had.
For real. Although it is a castle, so...
That's fair. Silver was originally stored in the pantry, and a footman, which is like a butler, was made to sleep there and guard it. One night, as he was going to sleep, a lady in white approached him, begging for water. When he returned with the water, she vanished. Some think that she was so thirsty because she had been poisoned.
Okay.
John Sage is rumored to be seen wandering the castle, probably looking for his balls.
Yeah, isn't he, missing feet and noses and...
Well, maybe when you die, you get them all back.
I guess. That's not fair. To him.
You're you should have to, float around with all your missing pieces.
Yeah.
A guest at the castle said that the group she was with all saw a cloaked figure in a friend's room, and when they developed their film, the figure didn't show up at all. For one, if I saw somebody in, my friend's room, I'd be like, well, have fun sleeping there by yourself.
Yeah, bye.
And the last one is someone staying at the castle said that they were being watched by a soldier standing in the bathroom door while they were sleeping.
Ew.
Which would be terrifying. And that's the Chillingham Castle.
I don't know. I might take the soldier over the cloaked figure.
Yeah. As long as he wasn't a bad one.
Well, if he just stood there watching, I mean...
He likes to watch, he doesn't want to participate.
Yeah. No torture, really, though. I would expect somebody to feel
Yeah. It's probably for the best.
Arms ripping off or something. Yeah. I mean,
well, I'm wondering if, maybe, that doesn't happen because the person that did it got what was coming to him.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
Could you just imagine, sleeping and you, feel somebody bite you?
Ah! I have bed bugs.
You're like, wait, I'm alone? Hello?
Hi?
Hello?
Well, not only that, but, could you imagine just, be laying there and just feel like your arms got broken?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on all of it. I'm just, not gonna stay there, so...
For real. Well, we don't even know where it's at, because I apparently didn't care enough to find out.
It's just on the way to Scotland.
Yeah, and it must be between Scotland and England. Because that's not a vast amount of space.
It's not a floating ship.
No.
Or castle.
It's not a floating
ship.
Not a floating stone ship.
Oh, well. Alright.
What do you got for us next time?
We're going to talk about Mary Toft, and it's not murder. It's not even really true crime. I mean, it is, but she was charged with something, but it's not really a crime. That's just weird.
We'll have to find out next time.
Yep. Until then, you can follow us on Instagram at In Reference to Podcast. There is a podcast at the end of our Instagram.
Did you look it up?
No, I just know because I didn't even edit it in this last time because I edited, is it my episode that we post? Yeah. I edited my episode at 8 a.m. on Monday morning.
So you're I'm just not gonna fix it.
Yeah, I was I don't got time to fix that. But no, I just couldn't believe that, like, I was like, I know one of our handles has podcast at the end, and you even looked it up and said it's in reference to, and I was like, I just don't think that's right.
And it wasn't.
It's not. It's in reference to podcast on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter at in reference to.
Can drop me an email at in reference to, is it podcast?
Yes.
In reference to podcast at gmail.com. The one thing I do, and I can't remember it.
One of these days we'll get our whole outro correct. And we also have a Patreon where you can, I mean, I don't know, maybe buy us better memories? Who knows? But you can help support us.
Buy us a dictionary.
I don't think a dictionary's gonna help.
It'll help us learn new words.
That doesn't help us with remembering our outro.
Buy us some goldfish so we don't feel stupid.
Goldfish? Don't you start
I know.
Dennis will come back from the dead and haunt you.
I miss Dennis.
You? Man. Anyway, Patreon, in reference... No, stop it, Amanda. Patreon. Patreon.com / in reference to. We'd love to have you as a part of our family. I'm thinking of doing something. I'm holding my pinky to the side of my face, like...
like Dr. Evil.
To help fund the podcast outside of Patreon, but I haven't told Heather yet, so I'm not going to tell you guys yet. Okay, so until next time. Bye!